Now, I'm hearing the mountains quake. I'm thinking volcanoes. If y'all have ever been to Mount St. Helens, which living in this area, I would assume that most of us have, and just the absolute devastation that Mount St. Helens created. I'm thinking earthquakes. I'm thinking tsunamis. I'm thinking volcanoes. This is a pretty big deal that what the psalmist is trying to paint here. This picture that he's painting is one of, we cannot control this. I cannot control if Mount St. Helens erupts again. That is not in my control. I can control whether I live at the base of Mount St. Helens, but I can't control Mount St. Helens. I can't control whether there's a tsunami. I can't control whether there's an earthquake. Quite frankly, if we're in the way of an earthquake or a tsunami or a volcano, we're toast. We're done. We can't control it. You can worry about it all you want, and it's not going to matter. And then look what he says. He gives you that picture, 1 through 3. He gives you that picture, really 2 through 3. He gives you that picture of just utter chaos. Utter chaos, natural devastation. And then verse 4, he gives you the exact opposite. He said, there is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, a holy place where the Most High dwells. God is within her. She will not fail. God will help her at the break of day. Nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall, but He lifts His voice, the earth melts. He gives you all of this natural disaster that you and I can do nothing about. It doesn't help to worry about it. If they come, we're done. And then He says, but there is a river whose streams make glad the city of God. He goes from this picture of chaos to this picture of peace. This picture of chaos to this picture of peace, and saying that there is a city where God dwells, and it's peaceful. There's a city where God dwells, and it's safe because God is there. There's a city where God dwells, and you don't have to worry. You don't have to fear. You don't have to be concerned about the mountains shaking or the oceans quaking, or you don't have to be concerned about any of that. Because there's a city where God dwells, and it's a city of peace. But if you keep going there, verse 8, come and see the works of the Lord. This is something I want y'all to see right here. We have, going back to 2 and 3, we have chaos, then it goes to peace, and now it's talking about God's power. Come and see the works of the Lord, the desolations He has brought on the earth. He makes war cease to the ends of the earth. If you think about some of the great wars, I mean, this past week marked the 10th anniversary of Afghanistan. We can't do anything about it. Not trying to get political on you guys, but we can pull out right now if we wanted to. However, the fear is if we pull out right now, then everything is going to kind of go back to the way it was. And it was the same way, if you just kind of rewind the clock, it was kind of the same way with Vietnam, and then you have Korea, and we had I don't know what parallel it was, but we finally created the parallel. There got some peace, and then you have World War II, and can you imagine just the absolute just millions and millions of people dying, the absolute chaos, the absolute just magnitude of that war, where you had Asia involved, and you had Europe involved, and you had the American continents involved. You had multiple Africa continents involved. Basically everybody but the penguins in Antarctica were involved in that. And God is telling us right here, at one moment He can make all the wars cease. At one moment He can make all the wars cease. It doesn't matter how great, it doesn't matter how hopeless it seems, it doesn't matter how many nations, how many continents are involved. In one moment, God can make the war cease. He says He makes the war cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. We're told that Jesus is the Prince of Peace, that there will be a peace, that peace will come, that worldly peace will come, not when we somehow get Palestine and Israel to sign another peace treaty, which I don't even know why they bother. I mean, how many is that now? Not when we get them to do that. Not when we get China and Russia to come on board with the UN and vote with the U.S. so that we can give sanctions to the country that we want to give sanctions to. Not because of that. Peace is going to come when Jesus comes back. Peace is going to come when the Prince of Peace comes back. That's when peace is going to come. Peace treaties are great, but they're limited. Eventually someone's going to fire another gun. Eventually someone's going to load a car up with some more bombs, and the peace will be broken. But when the Prince of Peace comes back, then all the wars will cease. Verse 10, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. We struggle with this. I struggle with this. One of the major commands of the Old Testament was the command to keep the Sabbath. Keep the Sabbath, keep it holy. And I believe that God gave this command for a number of reasons. Number one, because if you remember back in creation, on the seventh day, God rested. And so it was basically saying like, okay, you're going to imitate me. Ephesians chapter 5 says, be imitators of God. God rested on the seventh day. We rest on the seventh day. It's a way that we can remember the created order of things. Number two, I think one of the reasons why God gives the command of the Sabbath is, quite frankly, we just need it. We need it. Have you ever said to someone, man, I just need a vacation? The answer is, yes, you probably do need a vacation. Because we are created in a way that we cannot just go. Eventually,